make love freeze and break apart in the middle. Then they can see the hate when they separate and taste the salt of their tears. No, no, it's all about experience.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Benny Appice!
wrestle the mic over here and get comfortable. Hello, everybody. Sticks always rolling off. Lose sticks, lose the key, especially the key. I'm back from New York, and thanks for watching last week. And I think they showed an old one. I can't remember which one that one is. I just saw the beginning, and now I'm back live. I got my Italian feast shirt on. The Festival of San Gennaro in Little Italy. Had to get a shirt. Had to wear the shirt. Wow, what is that? Oh my God, it's starting to rain. I know what that is. That was good right there. I like that. And I went here. I did with Lala and the friend Howie, and we walked around. There was so many people in Little Italy. It was great. Everywhere I turned was a meatball, a pizza, calzone, Zeppelis, you name it, pasta everywhere. Sausage and peppers was big. You know who likes sausage and pepper sandwiches a lot? Ronnie. Ronnie loved that, and he would make it at his house. I go over there sometimes, and he's frying up some peppers with the sausage in it. I'm going to make you guys hungry. And he'd had the hoagie rolls. It's got to be on a good bread. You don't want to put it on sliced bread, you know. That doesn't work so good. So sausage and peppers, meatballs, baked ziti. So, and the stupid thing about that day was Lala and I went down to Chinatown. We actually took the trains in New York City. It seems to be a little bit more back to normal and safer to do things like that. So we took the train down to Chinatown at this really old Chinese restaurant. It's been there for years. And we ate Chinese food, and it was really good. And then we go, all right, let's walk around a little bit. Let's walk to Little Italy. It's 5 minutes, you know. Little Italy, Chinatown, close by together. And we walk there, and this feast is going on. We go, oh, crap. We could have ate here, you know. There was tons of people, literally thousands of people. And such great food, you know, just incredible. And I mentioned Zeppelis. We used to have those in Brooklyn. Those of you who don't know who Zeppelis are, it's not Zeppelin like. It's not Led Zeppelin, it's called Zeppelis. I should have started a band back in Brooklyn called Led Zeppelis. Who knows what would have happened. And what that is like a pizza dough, and they throw it in the deep fryer so it comes out fried, and then they sprinkle powdered sugar on it. They're really good. I shouldn't be eating that stuff, but I didn't have one anyway. And then, so we kind of grew up on those things, and there they were, because we don't see them here. I'm in California. We don't see those or good bagels here. And so they had Zeppelis, and gannolis, you know, that's another Italian dessert. I mean, this stuff was everywhere. So it's pretty incredible. And then, so we had a great time. And then actually we ate Chinese food, a whole bunch of Chinese food. And then toward the end, about an hour and a half later, we decided to get some pizza. Like, you got to try the pizza in the Italian festival. So we actually got a pizza and had a couple of slices each. That was fun. That was cool. I haven't been down to the feast in a long time. When I was a kid, I was down there. Back then, they had what's called a grease pole. Big telephone pole with grease on it, and they had teams, and who can climb the top. There was like hundreds of dollars on the top, and the team would win. And they'd climb on each other, stand on their shoulders, and the next guy, and pants would be coming down, ass cheeks would be showing, and it was pretty funny. They didn't do it this time. that was that, and then what else did we do? We went to Macy's about 50 times. You know, I like the Macy's in New York. It's got so much stuff, some cool stuff in there. Lala and I visited Macy's many times, and so on the subway, in New York subway, you go downstairs, you never know what's going to happen. The door opens, and there's some dude playing congas with some like a boombox playing some music, and he's playing, and it's loud in the subway car. And you go, oh shit, what's going on? And then the next time there's something else going on. Some guy was rapping, and there's some like free entertainment, but it is loud, and it's always an experience in New York taking the train. So we had a great time, you know. And what else did we do? We didn't do too much visiting around other than that. And shopping and eating. We did a lot of eating. And then tomorrow we go to Chicago for some Last in Line shows. We're going to be doing the Akata Theater in St. Charles, Illinois. We're going to do Indiana. We're going to do, what's the other one? Geez, I don't know. Look on the website, Last in Line Official on my site, and the dates are up there. Got VIPs and shirts and everything up there too. I had some, you ever have chocolate-covered coffee beans? Espresso beans. Those are good to have before you play. You want to play faster. Makes you play fast like that. So what else did we want to talk about here? Anyway, so I had a good time. So we got these 3 dates coming up with Last in Line, and then a couple more dates after that. The dates I did with Carmine went really well. Had fun. And, you know, we had 2 drum sets on stage. It's pretty crazy. And the sound guy is like, it's a nightmare hell for the sound guy because he's got to make 2 drum sets. And we both want, you know, monitors, everything in the monitor, and it's pretty crazy trying to get adjusted to the sound. But we did good. All the shows went well. Everything was good there, and we'll probably have some more dates next year, whereas Last in Lines, we're still going. And while we're working on the record, and we lost our dearly beloved European manager and agent, Steve Strange. He passed away this week. We're all saddened by that. And he handled so many people. He was a promoter, booking agent. He had a lot of hats that he was wearing. And he's the one that actually had the passion to bring Last in Line together. He was a big fan. He's a great friend of Viv, and he's from Ireland as well. And so he's instrumental in bringing us together, you know, because we put it together by jamming one day. And, you know, Viv, I, and Jimmy Bain, rest in peace, Jimmy too. And next time we said, let's do this again. And we did it next week, and that's when Andy Freeman came down. I called him and said, you know some Dio songs. Come down and sing this shit, man. And he does. He know all the songs. And that's how the band was born. Then Steve went ahead and booked some dates in Europe. That's where we started. We did one show in California, and then we did 4 or 5 shows in Europe. And that brought the band together. So so we miss him. He was a great guy. It's a great loss. And rest in peace, Steve. We love you. And so that song I played, first of all, the intro, there was that crazy... some crazy-ass intro that actually I was getting requested to play on the show. Man, like during the year. It's called Don't Tell the Kids, and it's on a Dio album called Angry Machines. And the guy asked me can you play the intro for Don't Tell the Kids? And as you could hear that intro, it's all over the place. It's not like a very flowing solo thing or anything. It's just sporadic, you know. So finally, I got to listen to it not long ago. I want to raise that. And I went, oh, forgot about that. That's all crazy stuff. And I think what happened was I didn't have anything planned in my head when we did that intro. It was basically like, let's record, and I'll just play something, you know. Just stuff that didn't make sense. Some of the tempos would change. And then in the middle of it, with the guitar, and then some more crazy stuff, until it went to. What was that? And so we put it together. It wasn't an intro that was played all the way through. Most of it was sections, and then we probably put in guitar hits, you know, so it sounds like we're tight. So that's what that was. So I'd have to listen to it a million times to figure out all the notes and stuff. And then the song I played to after that was called Bandits of Rock, from my band I had in 1977 to 78 called Axis. And that album, we have one album called It's a Circus World. It's a really good album, produced by Andy Johns, who did a lot of Zeppelin stuff and Stones, and he was a really cool guy with great ears, and he produced it. And you listen to drum sound, it's a nice fat drum sound, and that was back in 1970. We recorded that late 77, 78, and we were just a three-piece band. Danny Johnson on guitar, Jay Davis on bass. Album was cool. We didn't have management, so you know, the usual thing. It didn't start happening yet. Played the Whiskey and in L.A. here. We played a lot of places, but and then right after that, I got called to go play with Black Sabbath. But that's the album that Tony Iommi heard. When they called me, they said, "Hey, Sabbath needs a drummer. They're looking for a drummer, and we heard about you, and you want to come down and meet Tony Iommi at the hotel tonight, or tomorrow night, whatever it was." I said, "Yeah, that's cool," because at that time I lived in Hollywood. It was like 10 minutes away, you know, with traffic. And I went down and met Tony, and that's the story I told, where he came walking in the room with the LP. And he comes in with the LP, and he says, "This is really good. This is good." So that basically got me into Sabbath, Black Sabbath, that album, some of the playing on it. And interesting part was I didn't realize it. Just want to figure that out. The interesting part is that's a song like the song Caught in the Middle by Dio later on, where I played the verses on the cymbal, you know, and the choruses were on the hi-hat, you know. And Caught in the Middle was the same thing. The verses on Caught in the Middle were. And I don't know why I did it. I just feel it that way. I heard it that way. And sometimes that's what you go with, your natural instinct of, I think I should be playing it this way, you know. So I didn't realize it till I was playing the song, like, oh, this is the same idea. Verses were on the ride. and the choruses were, you know. So that's where that song came from, and that album's, I think it's still available on the internet, but it sells a little bit each week, each month. Get those big checks for like $12, you know. So anyway, it's good to be back, and I'll be back next week as well because we fly back on Sunday. We're kind of going to Chicago area for the weekend, and it's going to be cool. It's going to be good, exciting weekend. So a lot of this stuff I'm playing. A lot of these things are just, I call them like grace notes. Say, with the left hand in this particular situation. Like what I'm doing is accenting the accent with my right hand. The left hand's playing through it as grace notes, but lower, like this. Say, slower. I always say the left hand's to get you there, you know, if you're doing like this 4 pattern. Right, left foot. So. The left hand's played the 2 beats to get you to the bass drum, then back to the right hand. So the accents. The left hand's not heard that much. If I played at the same volume, it kind of gets a little stiff, like. You know, this way, the other way, you can get a little bit more dynamics by using the left hand more as playing grace notes like this. And the accents are what is driving the rhythm. And that could be done also when you're playing a beat as well. See, there's some grace notes on the left hand playing the snare, which kind of gives more of a groove to the beat. Without the grace notes, stiff. With the grace notes. So that's a lot of stuff that I played before, you know, just different patterns like that. But it's good to practice the grace notes if you haven't done them before, you know. A good one to start with is right, left foot, right, left foot, right, left foot, see, and then accent the right hand and the right foot. A good practice. Then you can do 6, which is right, left foot. Same thing, but putting a right, left in front of it. Oh, shit. like that. Right, left, right. Right, left, right, left foot. So. And of course, everything has to be played steady. I'm Mr. Steady. I like tell everybody who is, if I'm doing lessons or I'm teaching anybody over the years, I would always say steady first. First slow, then steady. Once you got that, then you go for speed. It's 3 S's, you know. So steady is nice and even. I'm not rushing. Yeah, so the 3 S's. The stick wants to roll off again. Stay there. So anyway, these are, tell you about this drum set. This is the Command Series drum set. It's not a very expensive set. It used to be even cheaper last year. But like everything else, everything went up. I think everybody's noticed that. But it's a great kit. This is poplar wood. And check it out online with the app, and I think you can get a set for like around $600, which includes a snare, 13-inch tom, 16-inch floor tom. This is an 18, so it's a little deeper. And then bass drums of 24 by 14, old school kind of 70s bass drum. Punches it. It's got a lot of punch. Great sounding kit, and it's poplar wood, and I use this on the road. I just used my East Coast version of this with my brother Carmine on our shows, and then I sound like Ed Sullivan on our show tonight. So check it out online, and it's a great sounding kit. Use it for recording. I use it in this, on touring, and I'll be using it with Last in Line. If anybody's coming to the show, check it out. And one guy asked me on the road just recently, he goes, how come on the show here, sometimes you have the bass drum head on the front, and sometimes you don't have it on at all? And sometimes I have a bass drum head on the front with a hole, which is now. And my answer was I try to experiment with this stuff. And I encourage everybody to do things like that rather than just drum set comes and you don't mess with it. You don't tune it very much. You know, try to see what the set can do. Try different heads, you know, if you can get different heads on the drums. And he wondered how the bass drum with 2 heads on it with no hole, is it harder to play? Because he's thinking the air's not coming out. And actually, that's why there's an air hole on the bass drum. There's air holes on all the drums. When they first started making drums, there was no air holes, and people would play them, and they would explode. Nah, I'm only kidding. They didn't. I think they always had the air holes. But with the 2 heads on, there's not really much of a difference if you're doing anything fast. You know, you can get fast on it just that way too. This is with the hole in the bass drum for the mic, and with the solid head on the front, I feel it's the same to me. And then with no head, you might have to push it a little bit more, because you're not getting so much of a rebound. The air is going right out, you know. So I definitely say to experiment and do it that way. And also, this is the Command Series set by Sawtooth, and the hardware is Chromacast. This is Chromacast hardware. Love the hardware. Cool thing with this hardware, you got one lever here that controls both movements, up and down and side to side. So you don't need to, like here, I can just adjust it the way I did before, and I just move it and locks in. So great stuff for pedals, ChromaCast, seats, ChromaCast, everything's ChromaCast. And now we have these cases, which are on sale. These cases are, I knocked everything over. Let me put this over here. There we go. And this is a ChromaCast case. And Joe Fuco, who is the owner of the company, and we both kind of looked into this and designed it. And it's got a great inside, nice and soft, takes care of your drums. The animals love it if you leave it around. The cat will go in there and go to sleep. But it's got the secret compartment here. It's got a zip on it. You open this up, and you can put another head in there, sticks, all sorts of accessories in here. So this is just the snare drum case, right? And you just put the snare drum, a couple extra heads, sticks, drum keys, whatever you need. Tuna fish sandwich. That's what I would put in there if I had to. And then it's got heavy-duty handles and heavy-duty zips, too. So check it out online. I think it's on sale today with 20% off. And I love them. I've been using them for quite a while now. And we have Lala in the house. Lala.
Hello.
It's Lala. Let me turn you up. Look at that professional. There you go. Professional way of turning her up. That's the stick, man. That really turns the drums up. You hear the difference? Now I'm going to professionally turn it down a notch. Yeah, that's because that's a room mic. The room mic's over there, so Lala can speak in it, and it picks up the room sound. So I had to perform surgery on Lala, too. She got, unfortunately, a splinter on her finger.
Oh, no.
And she couldn't get it out. And then I actually went in with the needle and did that digging, boom, boom, tried to get hold of that splinter. How's it feel now?
A lot better.
See?
It has a Band-Aid on it.
Got a Band-Aid on it.
Neosporin.
Yeah, and Neosporin, yeah. So I had to perform a little surgery before, but it's hard to see that little sucker. She was moving the turtle case. It has a wood thing on it, a cover, and it's the turtle's fault. You know, she has those two turtles. Okay, so let's take some questions for you guys, and I'll answer them.
There we go. Okay. Any special snare, wire, or tension that you use?
On the snare drum, my main thing is I don't tighten the snares up that much. I tighten them to kind of rattling around a little bit. They're not like this. Let's see if I can do it. That's very clean. This is dirty. When I hit it, it's a longer snare rattle. And it's cool for rock and roll, you know. See? So that's the way I adjust the snares. I always tune the drum to where I like the note, and then the snare adjustment is fairly on the loose side. The snares that are on here are probably Evans. Yeah. I don't know how many strands this is. It looks like 24. And that's it, you know. But my main thing is I leave them loose. A little looser than normal people would do it. Normal drummers, right? Because normal people don't play drums, right? So the abnormal people like us. And all you guys, nah, we're all cool. All right, next question.
Did you speak a little Italian with Ronnie and your brothers?
Did I speak a little Italian with Ronnie and the brothers?
Uh-huh.
No. Ronnie doesn't speak Italian. I never heard him say anything. We both know a couple of curse words, and that's about it. But I never actually heard Ronnie speak Italian, which is funny. So I wish I did learn. You know, when I was in school, I didn't want to learn that stuff. You know, I got French of all things. I'm like, what? I'm in Brooklyn, New York. I'm young. What am I going to do with French in Brooklyn, New York, you know? Then I wind up, 10 years later, I'm in France with the band trying to order an orange juice. And he's looking at me like I'm from another world. So I wish I would have learned that stuff. So, but I had my mind set on playing the drums, music, bands, all that stuff. So, next question.
How good was the cheesecake from Junior's?
We posted a picture of Junior's famous cheesecake. You can see it on my website, right? And that's like the standard go-to cheesecake. And we used to have that growing up in Brooklyn. Actually, we used to cut out of school, me and a bunch of friends, go get a Junior's cheesecake, and we drive to the cemetery and sit around somewhere and eat this cake, among other things. And it's so unbelievable, that stuff. That's like real New York cheesecake. Because wherever you go, it always says New York cheesecake, and then right, and you taste it, and it's good, and it's not New York cheesecake. Junior's like you cut a piece off and eat it, and sticks to the roof of your mouth. I mean, it's got the bottom's crumb. Was that graham cracker, little crust? It's insane. But I can't eat the sugar stuff because I'm a bit diabetic now. So I have a bite. She ate the whole piece.
That's not true.
But you know what? We walked around so much in New York.
Oh.
You know, we burned some of that calories and sugar
We
off.
did a lot.
Yeah. And if Heidi's listening, yeah, I cheated a little bit. I had a couple bites of that. Heidi, she's very good with her diet. Gives me a little hell sometimes when I cheat. Okay, next question.
Did your brother and you also play with a traditional grip?
Do we play with traditional grip? Not really. I can't play. I don't really play that way. I play that way on the pad. The reason being that when I'm sitting down, say I'm on the couch like this, right? For some reason, it's easier to play this way with the left hand than this way. So I do play on the pad traditional. But I can't play like that on the drums. I see people like Stuart Copeland. There was a video on. He's playing. His left hand's flying. I mean, it's power and everything. I'm like, wow. You know, 'cause this way is easier to get power in a traditional grip. So both Carmine and I play not traditional, rock grip, and that's why you see all the old jazz drummers, Buddy Rich and Louie Belts, and everybody played with traditional grip. Although Buddy, sometimes you see him go. You see him go for it on with a match grip, you know. So very interesting. Okay.
When is the album release date for Last in Line?
Album release date, I think is going to be the beginning of the year. Because I think we're going to release maybe an EP before that, which may be toward the end of the year. And then if we do that, then the album will come out a couple of months after that. You know, everything's slow now. I think it takes, to make vinyl records now, when you record and you send it to the companies, it takes 3 months or more, 3 to 4 months right now to get the vinyl albums made and printed for sale because of the way the world is right now. Everything's delayed, you know. Out here in California, there's 100, how many? 140 ships?
At least.
In Long Beach, waiting to unload. And that's just my drumsticks. No, that's true. It was 140 ships there.
Yeah, that's bad.
Crazy, man. Okay.
Who won the drum war?
Who won the drum wars? I won 1.5 nights, and Carmine won 1.5 nights. Carmine's almost 75 years old. He's kicking ass.
He is.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's playing double bass, and we had a great show. We kept trying to throw the sticks at each other, and we caught a couple of them, and then we had mid-air collisions, and we just start cracking up and laughing. But it made it, you know, everybody started laughing. I hope they weren't laughing at us. Like, look at these two. They can't even throw the sticks right. But they're correct. So we both won. Okay.
What is Ronnie's best Italian dish?
What is Ronnie's best Italian dish? He made spaghetti meatballs. And there have been many times when we were in England, when we were writing the Humanizer album, we had a house outside of Birmingham. That's where we rehearsed with Tony and Geezer. And on Sundays we didn't rehearse, so Ronnie and I were bored, man. There was no internet. There was, we'd either go for Indian food or go to the pub and have some beers. And on Sunday, we'd go on Saturday to the supermarket, because back then in England, the supermarkets were closed on Sundays. So we'd go in and we'd look for the ingredients. We'd have to get some sauce, tomato sauce, some of the stuff we couldn't find that we find here. So, So anyway, we would go there, get all the stuff, and then he would start cooking it up in the pot, get the meat and make meatballs, season it, and he would fry them up, and then he would throw them in the sauce to cook for a couple hours, and that makes the sauce taste better. And we do the spaghetti al dente, and Ronnie liked, of course, his choice of pasta was angel hair. It makes you think of the Heaven and Hell album with the three angels smoking, right? Angel hair pasta with meatballs, and it was delicious. And we get some fresh cheese grated up, and that's what we did on Sunday. To get a proper Italian food thing going on. So that was his dish, and that and sausage and peppers sandwich. Okay.
Do you ever keep in touch with your former drum techs?
Who said that? Who's the name on that?
I don't know, because I can't see it anymore.
It's probably my former drum tech.
I think it might be.
Who, Brian Weed?
It might have been.
Nah, I don't want to talk to him anymore. He owes me like $50. So when I see him here and there, I go, "Hey, Brian, you got that $50?" And he goes, "What, $30? I don't 30." I said, "No, it's 50." He goes, "What, $20?" And it goes all the way down to like $5. So I don't talk to him anymore. Next.
Do you think the song Black Sabbath has a kind of a Max Roach, Elvin Jones, Dark Tom's approach?
That's a good question, actually. It probably does, because Bill Ward played it down, bound, where the toms are leading the whole song. But the difference is Bill and the band slowed that down when it went bound, By the time you got to this last one, there's a little bit of hesitation, and it's not all in time like down, like a happy song. It slows down, like, whoa, what's going on with this? So yeah, you're correct, and that was Bill's part. I don't know what's played on the original song, but I know what was played live, and Bill played. When they go, bah, bah, and somehow everybody hit together, even though nobody's looking at each other. And even when I played with them, I copped that feel. I knew where to hit. So, because if it was in time, it might have been called White Sabbath. It's too in time. Okay, next question.
Have you tried the kick port?
The kick port. What is that? Food?
I don't know.
No, I don't know what that is. I've heard of it. I can't think of what it is. Kick port. No. But I'm going to be at the airport tomorrow. I've tried many of those. Was that a plug for the kick port? Who's that guy?
I don't know.
Who's that guy?
I don't write down names.
I think he's trying to sell those things.
Maybe.
Okay.
How about a Halford, Iommi, Butler, Appice collaboration?
Yeah, that would be cool. Well, that was in the works, but nothing happened with it. I think it just didn't happen. I know Rob wanted to do it, so I don't know what everybody else's feelings are on it. I don't know if I want to play with those guys anyway. I'm kidding. Legends. Heroes. Okay, next.
Any effects on your cymbals when you recorded I?
When I recorded no, there's no effects on that. That was a song on the Black Sabbath Dehumanizer album. And the guy that produced that is Mac. Mac produced some stuff for Queen and so many other bands. I think he worked with Zeppelin as well. And he just got a killer drum sound on that. I remember the two overhead mics that were just pointed down, the pencil mics. They were up here, pointed down, and just got such a sound that just bites. He's so good. And we didn't put any effects on anything on the drums, except a little verb maybe, or some sort of ambience, I don't know the exact thing, but he just knows how to get a great drum sound, and that's important. So how about one more question?
Okay. The screams Ronnie did on the last tours, like Mob Rules, did you see that in rehearsals before 1990?
Did I see that?
Yeah, or did you hear that before 1990, or just...
Why 1990?
I don't know. This is what the question was.
Well, the screams and Mob Rules, we go, come on! He screams, and we just slam into this thing. I could say that he never warms up backstage. I said this before, if you go to his dressing room, which I usually did, I usually go in his dressing room 15 minutes before we go on, relax a little bit. And Ronnie's there there might be a friend in there or some people, and he's having maybe a little glass of wine, nothing big, and I go hang out, and he's talking it's happy hour, a social hour. And then they go, come on, Ron, we got to go. Vent, okay, all right, see you guys. And we walk out onto the stage. No warm-up for him. And we start and we're loud. That's the loudest band. Goes into Mob Rules, and he screams and then just does it. Never had a problem. He's amazing vocal control, and he knew how not to blow his voice out. Not once has he ever blown his voice out. And I don't know how many gigs I've done with him. I probably in the thousands. I should have kept track. I did keep track of some of them. I should have just kept track of it. But who knows? Then I could say to Ron, hey, Ron, remember gig 884? That was really good. He'd probably go, oh, yeah, right. Boom. Okay. But no warm-up. Right out, So he knew how to breathe, too. He was a trumpet player, so he knew how to circular breathing and all these things. So that really helped him. Anyway, so thank you for joining me today, and I'll be back next week. Tell you about Chicago and what's going on there. And check the website. We got all sorts of things up there, and last in line, shirts, VIPs, and merchandise. We want to sell that stuff, And I buy merchandise. I bought this San Gennaro Little Italy shirt. And this color, I bought this color, which is weird because I used to go to a junior high school called Montauk Junior High School in Brooklyn. And this was the gym shirt color. And it said Montauk, blah, 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 blah. I didn't go to gym. I couldn't stand gym. I didn't want to go play sports because I was playing drums. I didn't want to have a ball hit my hand or my fingers and screw my arms or anything up where I'm going to play the drums. That was my story, and I stuck to it. So, but this reminded me of it, so that's why I got this funny color. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I'll be back next week, and check out the cases online. And thank you, Sawtooth Drums, ChromaCast products, and check out the videos up there we did with Melody, Rudy Sauza, and Michael Badio and myself. Fool for Your Lovin'. It's kicking ass. And I'll see you guys next week. Okay? Be safe, or I'll see you next week on the road. Okay, bye.